How Thanksgiving Glorifies the Violence Against Native Americans.
Introduction. Thanksgiving, a cherished holiday celebrated by millions of Americans, has long been associated with images of Pilgrims and Native Americans coming together in harmony to share a feast. However, a deeper examination of the history surrounding Thanksgiving reveals a complex and troubling narrative that has often been glossed over. Many Native Americans view Thanksgiving as a reminder of the violence and oppression they have endured at the hands of European colonizers. This essay explores how Thanksgiving glorifies the violence against Native Americans and the importance of acknowledging and addressing this painful history. The dominant Thanksgiving narrative. The traditional Thanksgiving narrative, as taught in schools and perpetuated in popular culture, centers around the arrival of the Pilgrims in Plymouth and their supposed harmonious relationship with the Wampanoag tribe. According to this narrative, the Pilgrims and Wampanoag joined together for a peaceful feast, symbolizing friendship and cooperation between the two groups. However, this narrative oversimplifies the complex realities of colonization and ignores the violence and oppression that Native Americans experienced. Distorted history and stereotypes. The mainstream Thanksgiving story paints a rosy picture of European settlers bravely venturing into the New World, with the help of friendly Native Americans, to create a new life for themselves. This narrative fails to acknowledge the true extent of the violence and exploitation inflicted upon Native tribes. It perpetuates stereotypes and trivializes the rich and diverse cultures of Native Americans by reducing them to simplistic costumes and headdresses in school reenactments. Thanksgiving is a day of mourning. For many Native Americans, Thanksgiving is not a cause for celebration but a day of mourning and protest. The United American Indians of New England have designated the fourth Thursday in November as the National Day of Mourning. This day serves as a reminder of the genocide of millions of Native people, the theft of their lands, and the ongoing racism and oppression they continue to face. By recognizing this day, Native Americans honor their ancestors and bring attention to the ongoing struggles of their communities. Native perspectives on Thanksgiving. While some Native Americans choose to reject Thanksgiving altogether, others embrace the positive aspects of the holiday while acknowledging its troubled history. The idea of giving thanks is deeply ingrained in Native heritage and culture, emphasizing gratitude for the blessings of life, family, and the land. Many Native tribes already had their own autumn harvest feasts of Thanksgiving before the arrival of the Pilgrims. Despite the distorted narrative, Native Americans continue to gather with friends and family, enjoying traditional foods that have indigenous origins. The true origins of Thanksgiving. The origins of Thanksgiving can be traced back to a complex history that extends beyond the arrival of the Pilgrims in Plymouth. The Wampanoag people, led by Alsamequin Massasoit, had an established presence in the region long before the Pilgrims arrived. The first so-called Thanksgiving was not a peaceful gathering but a rejoicing, featuring feasting, contests, and militia drills. The Wampanoag joined the celebration out of a sense of mutual defense, having heard gunfire and mistakenly believed the settlers were under attack. The true origins of Thanksgiving are far more nuanced than the simplified narrative often taught. The legacy of violence. While the first Thanksgiving may have had moments of cooperation, it does not erase the broader history of violence and oppression that Native Americans faced. The colonization of North America brought devastating consequences for indigenous populations, including the introduction of diseases that decimated entire tribes and the displacement of native peoples from their ancestral lands. Acts of violence, such as the Pequot War and the massacres of native communities, are often overlooked in the traditional Thanksgiving narrative. Re-examining Thanksgiving traditions. As we reflect on the history of Thanksgiving, it is crucial to re-examine the traditions and practices associated with this holiday. Dressing up in stereotypical Native American costumes perpetuates harmful stereotypes and cultural appropriation. Instead, we should strive to educate ourselves and others about the true history of Native Americans and promote cultural understanding and respect. By supporting Native American voices, artists, and organizations, we can work towards dismantling the harmful narratives perpetuated by Thanksgiving. Moving towards reconciliation. Acknowledging and addressing the violence and oppression inflicted upon Native Americans is an essential step towards reconciliation. This requires an honest and comprehensive understanding of history, including the darker chapters often omitted from the Thanksgiving narrative. By listening to Native voices and amplifying their stories, we can work towards a more inclusive and accurate representation of Native American experiences. Additionally, supporting Native communities through education, advocacy, and economic empowerment is crucial for healing the wounds of the past. Celebrating Native American Heritage Month. November is recognized as Native American Heritage Month, providing an opportunity to honor the rich cultures, traditions, and contributions of Native peoples. This month serves as a reminder to celebrate and uplift Native voices, histories, and achievements. By engaging in educational events, supporting Native-led initiatives, and amplifying Indigenous perspectives, we can contribute to a more inclusive and accurate understanding of Native American heritage. Conclusion. Thanksgiving is a holiday that carries deep historical significance for Native Americans. While it is important to acknowledge the positive aspects of gratitude and family that many associate with Thanksgiving, it is equally vital to confront and address the violence and oppression that Native communities have endured. By re-examining the traditional Thanksgiving narrative, amplifying Indigenous voices, and promoting cultural understanding and respect, we can work towards a more inclusive and honest commemoration of this holiday. Let us strive for a Thanksgiving that acknowledges the complex history of Native Americans and fosters reconciliation and healing.